Welcome back to the channel, you Kookz. If we haven't met yet, I'm Danny Dukes from the Van Kookz, and if you've been following along on this build, we just finished the framing. And in this video, we're about to show you how we used all of our Amazon boxes, so I hope you save some because we're going to make a lot of stencils in this video so that you can get these perfect cabinet frames with no air gaps between your wall or your cabinets. So hit that subscribe button, follow along, and we're going to show you how we did it. Right now we're making stencils, so we make these out of cardboard, and we're making the stencils for the outside of the cabinet, the finishing that we're going to put on it. So we're going to need to make those lovely van stencils. So what we're doing right now is we measured from its biggest point to its tallest point, and then we're just going to cut it down and cut it down and cut it down, and probably put this on a piece of cheap plywood just to make sure before we start using our hardwood and shaving that down. We want to get it perfect before we use that hardwood.
Alright, so we got a lot of the stenciling onto the boards. Everything's looking real nice in here. Danny cut all the shelves, the sides.
Well, we did it with cardboard first. I've done it with newspaper and then cut it, and that's worked pretty good. And then you move on to cardboard, and then you move on to something like this, and then you do it on your expensive board. But for this, when I didn't have the edges that I needed, I found that if I held the pencil pretty consistently like this, and I just traced, and I would bring it off the wall like this, so if it was touching anywhere, I would trace like this, and it would give me a line that I needed to cut off if it didn't have the same air as the other stuff, because sometimes it would be touching, and then there'd be air here, touching, air here. So if you just got your pencil and went like that, you could see what angle you wanted to cut off.
Just working on never-ending stencils. So this was one, it kind of sucked. So here we go, we got another one traced, and we'll see how it turns out. The stencil is in. It's a little big, so I'm just gonna trace a line down here, down the front. Now we're going to cut out shelves for our tall cabinet. So we do all of our stencils first. We got a little masonite sheet here, and we just cut them all out, make sure they fit, and then I'm taking the exact measurements and I'm getting a new cut list going.
So what we're going to do right now is we've already made all of our stencils after we installed everything and know where everything's going to go exactly. We've made these stencils out of cardboard first, and then we put them on the RAM board. So now we're going to put the RAM board down on a 4x8 sheet and see how much we can get out of it before we go to the hardwood store. Also, what we're going to mind is the grain direction. So for everything going up, we're going to have the grain going up, because we don't want to go sideways, it'll look weird. We are at Auburn Hardwoods right now, grabbing sheets for our sides of our cabinets, and we're looking for lumber for our face frames. So we came here because it's better than Home Depot. It's a lot more hands-on. There's always someone that helps you with whatever you want, and they just have a lot more to select from.
Always use protection when transporting your fresh hardwood. So we got some blankets on these metal frames because we've already scratched some stuff last time, so we learned. We got the wood. Danny's tracing the first of the stencils. It's a nice birch, natural birch made here in the USA, folks.
All right, I'm gonna use the bandsaw. It's kind of like a huge jigsaw to do all these cuts. So we drew all of our templates on our good wood, and we just cut it on the table saw. So we cut it to a manageable size to work with on the bandsaw. So we're gonna hit it up.
Shout out to John.
Yeah, shout out to John, Fireman John.
All right, we got all our sides in. We've scribed them nicely. So now what we do is we push them in place, and then we'll draw a pencil line, and then we'll cut all these, and we'll get them nice and matched in here. Just right there. Okay, we are still working on our stencils for our cabinet side pieces, these little templates. So this is our birch. This is the finished piece. I was just gonna walk you through how we do it. So what we do is we start with our cardboard, and then we trace our cardboard till we feel pretty good. We work it in there, and then we transfer it over to this ram board, a little more hard. And once that's looking very good, we will put it onto our board. But you'll notice we give ourselves a little 1/8 of an inch on our cut. Then we use this belt sander and we really work it and get these lines perfect, because it's really difficult to make these cuts. But when you're on this sander, it's much easier. So we're gonna work it on the sander, and then we're gonna take it into the van and test it. And we'll do that about 5 or 6 times. It's a long process. We've literally been doing this for almost a week now, or easily over a week. It's kind of one of the more pain in the butt processes, but if you take the time and get it perfect and you have the right tools like this, and we also use this band saw, this guy. So this really helps. It's been speeding up the process so much. So yeah, I'll show you some progress. We got our side pieces in, nice and scribed. Upper cabinet's looking nice. It's gonna be coming to a parking lot near you soon. After we're all done with our stencil, we grab our router, and we got a little quarter here, so we're gonna just kind of take that and zap this straight edge, because it makes it look a lot nicer when it all comes together. It kind of seals up those imperfections. Okay, so we ran our upper cabinet bottom pieces through the table saw. We ripped them both at about 10.5 inches. And since it's over 8 feet, we got to combine the 2 boards. So what we did is we got our dado set on here. So we got a pretty thick one. And then we take our fence and we put it flush against here. And then you'll see when we cut that, it gives us this nice groove. So now we can combine the 2 boards at the joint. So now we are still working on just finishing these cabinets. So we're using a clear polyurethane. These are the insides. This process has by far taken the longest to cut all these individual cabinet pieces. So these are the inside of the uppers. But if you look around the shop, there's like stencils and scribed pieces of wood everywhere. We spent maybe 3 or 4 days just on scribing all this wood. So we'll show you all the pieces that we have scribed and got cut out. And then very soon we're going to be installing everything into the van, and it's going to really come together here in the next few minutes for you guys.
And here's a little look of what kind of joint we're using. So this tape is just to make sure that the glue doesn't overflow onto this. When the glue overflows, we'll just rip it off when it's dry.
All right, our piece dried. It looks really good. And now we're gonna attach it in place. See how it goes. We're gonna put this whole upper cabinet together, I think. Okay, we've attached the first underneath of the cabinet. We did it all with these quick screws. And we still got a clamp on our glue because it was kind of difficult to get in here. So
125 inches.
Everything's got 2 on here, 1 in the middle, 2 there, and then we got our side piece in. Wow.
And we got our lights in. We got our switches in for the lights. So we put this switch here. So that when you're coming around from the driver's seat, you can quickly turn on a light. Oh yeah, and check out our new t-shirts. Kevin and I are both wearing the new t-shirts. So this is the women's crop top that we've made. Adventure Before Dementia. So check it out in the shop. They're coming soon. Kevin's got the other shirt on. It's the blue men's Adventure Before Dementia. Don't forget. So we're putting in these dimmable LED lights, and they go in pretty easy. We've dealt with a couple of these, like the dream lights kind of want to fall out, but these have such a great like spring action that they don't want to fall out. There we go. Look at it underneath. It looks so beautiful. Right now we're putting on the sides to our cabinet, and how we're attaching them to the metal is we're using these little quick screws. These are great for your drawer sliders. These are also great for this because it's just an 1/8 of an inch angle iron that we're going through, so we don't need to send it too far. So we have holes drilled, not anywhere right here, but we have holes drilled in the inside, and they're just gonna go like this. We've already done this side here, so you can see what it's gonna look like looking at it from the inside. So for some of you guys that have been following along, we kind of want to give you a little update on what it looks like at the moment. So as you can see, we have easy access switches here. Everything is hidden. You can't see any of the lights. This turns on and off.
All of our sides are scribed.
All of our sides are scribed and perfect. We got some dimming lights. And we've made the face frames, so we're gonna paint those and put those on, and you'll see that pretty soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot. If you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and do that. Follow along on this journey. And if you know someone that's building a van and this would really help, share this video. We're trying to make it easy on these kooks that are trying to build some vans. So also stay tuned for next week, because next week we're gonna be working on some drawers. Over here at N Studio, he's teaching us how to do them professionally. So we're going to teach you how to do them professionally. And after that, the week after that, we are going to be doing the face frames. So we're going to be covering all of this metal, making sure that you can't see any of it, and so that it'll look beautiful like a work of art. So stay tuned, guys. We got so much in store for you guys. We really appreciate you guys commenting on the videos. I know people scroll the comments like I do. So thank you so much for filling in the gaps that we haven't addressed. If you like content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We have plenty of this kind of content on our channel, and we started a Patreon, so if you do appreciate this and you want to support the Kookz, it goes a long way for us. So hit us up on Patreon. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week, guys. Thanks for following along on this journey. Peace out, Kookz.